Hi guys, welcome to iTTV. I am Mr. Wong, your English teacher. In today's lesson, we're going to do a little bit of writing. Now, have you ever written an email before? Now, if you have, that's very good. And if you haven't, we're going to learn all about that today. But before we start, what exactly is an email? Email stands for electronic mail. Now, a long time ago, actually not that long ago, we used to actually write letters. So nowadays, whenever the postman comes to your house, most of the time, most of the letters you get are in the form of bills. Bills that you have to pay, for example, the water bill or maybe the electricity bill. But not so long ago, many of the letters that you would get at home consisted of letters written by friends or relatives who lived in another state or even another country. But electronic mail or email has changed all of that. Today, you can send an email and the person who receives it will get it straight away. Life has become so much easier. But do you know how to write an email properly? That's what we're going to learn about today. Are you ready to begin? Now, let's take a look at the slides together. It's a small world after all. Now, that is exactly what email is. Remember how I was telling you how you had to wait for a really long time before you would get a letter? Well, like I said, with an email, you get to read the letter straight away. So, from a world that was really big, with email, it's a small world after all. Okay, we will read the instructions together. Now that you've gone through the lessons, let's write a friendly email to a friend. Have you written emails before? Yes? Now write an email to your friend describing your new handphone that your father bought for your birthday. So we are now going to write an email. Now, the topic has already been given to us. We are going to write about a new handphone. Now, we are only in Form 1 now and already many of us have handphones. Some years ago, a handphone was something that was very expensive, and in fact, they were very big. What we're going to do now is we're going to write about getting a new handphone that your father has bought for you. Now think about your handphone today. What does your handphone look like? What are the handphones that your friends carry? What is a new handphone? What are the types of handphones we use today? So these will be some of the things we will be talking about. Now, as we go through this email, we will start thinking about different things that we can bring into the email. Things that you would like to tell your friends, things that you think are interesting. Let's continue. Now, when we look at this slide, you will see an example of what an email page will look like. Now, right on the top, you see 3 tabs. The first tab says, What's new? The second tab says, Inbox, 51 emails. Now, an inbox will be a place where you will be able to see all the emails that you have received. And now, we have clicked on New Email Message. So, when you look at this page, you will see a big blank white space at the bottom. This is where we're going to write our email. Now, just below New Email Message, we will see a few boxes with words in them. Now, let's take a look at these words. So, we have send. So, after we have written the email, we will take the cursor and click on the button Send. As soon as we do this, our email will be sent to the recipient. The recipient is the person who will receive the email. Next, we have attach. Now, the box attach is if you want to attach a document or a file to your email. Now, what does that mean? For example, imagine that you want to write about a handphone and you want to show your friend a picture of your new handphone. So what you can do is you can take a picture of your handphone, you can upload it onto your computer, you can attach the file to the email and send it. Isn't that something that would be fun? Next, we have Save Draft. Now sometimes, we're not able to finish writing the email. For example, you're writing halfway and suddenly you have to run downstairs to open the door because your dad has come home. So what you can do is you can save the draft and you can continue writing this letter later. Next, we have Spell Check. Now this will help us check our spelling to make sure that all the words are correct. And finally, we have Cancel. Cancel is when you don't want to continue, you want to stop. You just want to cancel the whole thing. Right underneath that, we have 3 more rows. The first row is To. This is where you will put in your friend's email address. Getting an email account today is so easy. You have so many choices. You have Gmail, Yahoo, Hotmail, and many more. So all you have to do is sign up for an account, and just like that, you have an account. But remember your password or you will not be able to get into your account. Right under To, you see the 2 letters CC. CC stands for carbon copy. Now, what does carbon copy mean? A long time ago, we used to take a piece of paper, and if we wanted a copy of this, we would put a black sheet of carbon paper behind the original white sheet and another piece of paper behind that. So as you wrote, you would get a copy on the next piece of white paper. So this is what we call carbon copy. Now, here, carbon copy means that you will send the same email to another person. So for example, if you wanted to write an email to your friend, but you also wanted another friend to know about this email, you could CC the other friend. And finally, you have the subject. So the subject is what this email is about. So before someone opens an email, a good subject will tell them what the email is about. And this will help them choose which email they want to read first. So in your case, your subject would be new handphone or I just got a new handphone. Something that would tell the person who is reading your email what you are writing about. Now, after that, you have a lot of different icons, and these different icons will allow you to do different things. Now, what I want you to do is I want you to open up your email account and just play around, because the more you play, the more familiar you will be with the layout of your email account, and you'll be able to do so many different things. Now that we've looked at an empty new message, what we're going to do is we're actually going to write. Now remember a few things. You need to have the correct email address. The next thing you want to do is you want to make sure you give it a good subject so that the reader knows what this email is about. So what we're going to do now is we're going to read an example of an email written about a boy who has just gotten a new phone. So are you ready to read it? Let's go! Dear Jeff, hello, I got your email yesterday. I'm fit as a fiddle over here. Glad to hear you're in the pink of health. I'm writing to you because I'm dying to tell you that my dad bought me a new handphone for my birthday last week. I traded in my old phone for 50 ringgit and Dad paid another 300 ringgit for my Sony Ericsson phone. It's small and sleek. It's as light as a feather and has many functions. The best part is it has a built-in Walkman. Now that we've read the email, let's go through it together. I'm sure there are a few things that you find very interesting. Now, the first thing we're going to look at is, I got your email yesterday. So Jeff wrote this email yesterday and sent it to his friend. And already today, the friend has replied and told him about this new handphone that he's gotten. Now, the writer also said, I'm fit as a fiddle. Now, what does fit as a fiddle mean? Now, fit as a fiddle means that a person is in very good health. So, next, we want to go and look at the words trade in. Now, what does trade in mean? Now, sometimes when you are going to buy a new product, the company that is selling you the product might sometimes offer you a trade-in. For example, let's say your parents want to buy a new car, but they already have an old car. So sometimes what will happen is they will sell this old car to the company and they will be given a trade-in value. So for example, I will give you $10,000 for your old car and you have to pay another $50,000 for the new car. So this means that the new car actually costs $60,000. Now here, the trade-in value was 50 ringgit. And on top of that, his father had to top up another 300 ringgit. So altogether, the phone actually cost 350 ringgit. Now, after telling him about the price of the new phone, he started to describe the phone. The first thing he said is it's small and sleek. Now, small, we all know what that means, so it's very small. Now, what does sleek mean? Sleek will be referring to the shape of the phone. So it is a very nice design that is very sleek. So sleek here would mean that it is not odd, it is not bulky, but it has got a very nice shape. And finally, he says that it's as light as a feather. So this is to tell the reader that the phone is actually very, very light. So we now understand what this whole email is about. And once it is written, what do you need to do? Now let's take a look at the slide. Now remember the little box at the top that says send? So once you've filled in everything, now remember the email address needs to be correct, the subject, and of course the whole email that you've already written. Then you click on the send box. Now that will send the email to the recipient and he can read it straight away. So now that you've sent your email, your friend has received the email and he knows all about your new handphone. So what you have to do now is you need to practice. Now if you have a computer at home, go and get an email account if you don't have one already and start typing. Send an email to a friend, to a relative, to your parents and write about something. Now always remember the few important things. Number one, make sure that the email address that you are writing to is correct. Number two, write a proper subject. The subject should tell the reader about the content of the email. And finally, write an email that people can enjoy. Now that we've written our email, all that we have to do is we need to send it. So remember the little button at the top? That's right. All you have to do now is to click on that button and your email will be sent. So when it comes to writing an email, remember there are a few very important things. The first thing is make sure that the email address is correct. You have to put in an email address that is valid. If not, nobody is going to get the email. Number two, put in the proper subject. A subject should tell the reader about the content of the email. And finally, write a great email that the reader can enjoy. So what you need to do now is switch on your computer and if you don't have one already, create an email account. Then send an email to a friend or a relative or even your dad and mom. So that's all the time we have for today. So remember, switch on your computers and write your emails. Till I see you next time, bye-bye!